Let's talk about Gil Gerard, a name that, for many fans of classic science fiction, instantly brings to mind adventure, charm, and a certain twinkle in the eye. Gil Gerard is more than just an actor, he's a symbol of a unique era in television, when heroes were larger than life, and the future was filled with endless possibilities. He's the man who became Buck Rogers, stepping into the boots of one of sci-fi's most enduring characters and making the role his own. With his rugged good looks and easygoing charisma, Gil brought Buck Rogers to life in a way that was both relatable and aspirational. For an entire generation of viewers, Gil Gerard was Captain William Buck Rogers, the ultimate space adventurer. He was charming, quick-witted, and always ready with a clever comeback or a warm smile. But what really set him apart was his ability to balance humor and heroism, making Buck not just a fearless leader, but also a friend you'd want by your side on any intergalactic mission. Through Gil's performance, we believe that a man from the 20th century could wake up 500 years in the future and not only survive, but thrive. He made the impossible seem possible, and he did it with a sense of fun that made every episode a joy to watch. Whether he was piloting a starfighter or navigating the complexities of futuristic society, Gil's Buck Rogers was always the coolest guy in the galaxy. But Buck Rogers in the 25th century was more than just spaceships, laser guns, and dazzling special effects. At its heart, the show was about people, about friendship, loyalty, and the hope for a better tomorrow. And at the center of it all was Gil Gerard, whose warmth and humor gave the series its soul. Gil could switch from tough action hero to vulnerable, relatable human being in the blink of an eye. One moment, he'd be leading a daring rescue or facing down a villain with steely resolve. The next, he'd be cracking a joke or sharing a quiet moment with a friend. That versatility made him unforgettable. Off-screen, Gil was just as beloved by his castmates and crew. His sense of humor and easygoing nature made the set a fun place to be, and his dedication to his craft inspired everyone around him. Fans who met him at conventions or public appearances often remarked on his kindness and genuine interest in their stories. But Gil's story is more than just one iconic role. Before he became a household name, he lived a life full of twists and turns, setbacks and triumphs. His journey to stardom wasn't a straight line, it was a winding road, filled with unexpected detours and hard-earned lessons. Long before the bright lights of Hollywood, Gil worked as a chemist and even drove a cab to make ends meet. These early experiences shaped his perspective and gave him a deep appreciation for the opportunities that eventually came his way. He understood the value of hard work and perseverance, and he never took his success for granted. Today, as we look back on Gil Gerard's remarkable journey, from humble beginnings to science fiction legend, we see a story of resilience, talent, and heart. Let's celebrate the man who brought Buck Rogers to life, and the incredible path that led him to become a true icon of the genre. Gil Gerard was born in Little Rock, Arkansas in 1943. He grew up in a regular family, his mom a college instructor, his dad a salesman. He was a smart, curious kid, more interested in science than showbiz. After high school, he studied chemistry at the University of Central Arkansas. He landed a job as an industrial chemist at Ciba Geigy, on track for a big corporate career. He was good at it, with a clear path to success and even a shot at becoming a vice president before 30. But even with all that, something was missing. Gil was about to discover he was meant for something very different. Despite his success, Gil felt restless. He realized he didn't want to spend his life talking about chemical compounds. His boss suggested he find a hobby, so Gil tried acting classes. The moment he stepped on stage, he was hooked. Acting wasn't just a hobby, it was his calling. He loved performing, creating characters, and connecting with an audience. So, he made a bold choice. He quit his job and left the corporate world behind. He traded security for uncertainty, determined to become an actor. It was a huge leap of faith. But sometimes, you have to bet on yourself, and that's exactly what Gil did. Gil moved to New York City to chase his dream. He had no connections, no agent, and no acting jobs, just passion and determination. The city was tough, but Gil was tougher. He enrolled in acting classes with legendary teachers like Uta Hagen and Sanford Meisner. He worked hard, building his skills from the ground up. But New York is expensive, and he needed a way to pay the bills. Like many aspiring actors, he found a classic survival job. Gil Gerard, future space hero, became a New York City taxi driver. Gil drove a cab by night and studied acting by day. He wasn't too proud to do what it took to support his dream. He poured his earnings into his education at the American Musical and Dramatic Academy. It was exhausting, but he was committed. Driving a taxi taught him about people and life in a way no lab ever could. Then, a lucky break. A producer noticed him while he was driving. That encounter led to his first step into the entertainment industry. It wasn't a starring role, but it was a start. Gil's days as a cab driver were numbered. Gil Gerard's journey to stardom didn't begin on the silver screen, but rather in the bustling, neon-lit world of 1970s television commercials. In those days, commercials were more than just quick advertisements. They were mini-productions, complete with elaborate sets, catchy jingles, and a chance for aspiring actors to get noticed. For Gil, these early gigs were a crucial stepping stone, offering him his first real taste of the entertainment industry and a glimpse behind the curtain of show business. Gil's big break came when he landed the role of the Coke Man in a series of high-profile Coca-Cola commercials. His charismatic presence and easy smile made him instantly recognizable to millions of viewers. Not long after, he became the face of Ford, appearing in national campaigns that aired during prime time. These commercials didn't just pay the bills, they gave Gil a platform, putting his face in front of audiences across the country and making him a familiar presence in American living rooms. For many families, Gil was the friendly face they saw between their favorite shows, a symbol of trust and reliability. The exposure was invaluable, and it wasn't long before casting directors started to take notice of the man who could light up a screen in just 30 seconds. Soon, Gil began landing small but memorable roles in popular television series of the era, including the gritty crime drama Beretta. These early acting jobs were more than just lines on a resume. They were opportunities to learn from seasoned actors, to understand the rhythm of a set, and to hone his craft in front of the camera. His transition to film came with appearances in movies like Airport 77, where he shared the screen with Hollywood veterans and experienced the fast-paced world of big-budget filmmaking. Each new role, no matter how small, added another layer to his growing experience and confidence. With every audition, every callback, and every new credit, Gil's resume grew stronger. He was building a reputation as a reliable, versatile actor, someone who could be counted on to deliver, whether in a 30-second spot or a feature-length film. Along the way, Gil soaked up every lesson the industry had to offer. He learned the importance of preparation, the value of collaboration, and the subtle art of bringing a character to life. Acting classes, late-night rehearsals, and candid conversations with directors all became part of his education. Then, a pivotal moment arrived, a turning point that would change the course of his career. Gil was given the chance not only to star in, but also to co-write the TV movie Killing Stone. This was more than just another acting job. It was an opportunity to shape a story from the inside out, to prove that he was more than just a handsome face on a screen. On the set of Killing Stone, Gil poured his heart into the project, collaborating closely with writers and directors, and showing a new side of his talent. The experience was transformative, giving him the confidence to take creative risks and the credibility to be seen as a true storyteller. Audiences and industry insiders alike began to see Gil in a new light. He was no longer just the guy from the commercials, he was an actor with depth, ambition, and a passion for storytelling. It wasn't long before his growing body of work caught the attention of Glen A. Larson, one of television's most influential producers. Larson was always on the lookout for fresh talent, and Gil's unique blend of charm, experience, and determination made him stand out from the crowd. At the time, Larson was developing an ambitious new science fiction series and needed a leading man who could carry the weight of a futuristic adventure. He wanted someone who could be both relatable and heroic, someone who could bring a sense of humanity to a larger-than-life role. When Glen A. Larson saw Gil Gerard, he knew instantly that he'd found his Buck Rogers. Gil's journey from commercials to the big screen had prepared him for this moment, and everything he'd learned along the way would soon be put to the test. For Gil, it was the culmination of years of hard work, perseverance, and a relentless belief in his own potential. Everything he had worked for was about to pay off, as he stepped into the spotlight and embraced the role that would define his career. In the late 1970s, television was on the brink of a science fiction renaissance, and at the heart of it was Glen A. Larson, a prolific producer with a knack for turning bold ideas into pop culture phenomena. His latest project was Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, a daring attempt to bring a classic pulp hero into a new era of storytelling. Larson envisioned a show that would blend futuristic adventure, humor, and relatable characters, all wrapped in the glitz and spectacle of primetime TV. The strategy was ambitious. First, release a feature-length movie in theaters to test the waters and generate buzz. If audiences responded, the story would continue as a weekly television series. This approach was risky, but it promised to make Buck Rogers a household name if it succeeded. The premiere was a major event, drawing crowds eager for a new kind of hero and a fresh take on science fiction. Enter Gil Gerard, a relatively unknown actor at the time, who auditioned for the lead role. Gil brought a unique blend of charm, wit, and everyman appeal that set him apart from the competition. For Gil, this was more than just another audition. It was a chance to break out of obscurity and prove himself on a national stage. When he landed the part, it marked a turning point in his career, opening doors he'd only dreamed of. The movie's release was met with excitement and curiosity. Audiences were captivated by Gil's portrayal of Captain Buck Rogers, a hero who was not only brave and resourceful, but also quick with a joke and easy to root for. The film's success was immediate, and Gil Gerard was suddenly thrust into the spotlight as the face of a new sci-fi sensation. On set, Gil's infectious energy and sense of humor helped create a fun, collaborative atmosphere. He brought warmth and humanity to Buck Rogers, making the character more than just a typical action hero. Cast and crew alike admired his dedication and ability to keep spirits high, even during long, grueling shoots. Gil's performance gave the show its heart, and fans quickly connected with his version of Buck. The impact was immediate and far-reaching. Buck Rogers became a pop culture phenomenon almost overnight. Kids everywhere wanted Buck Rogers action figures, lunchboxes, and costumes. The catchy theme song echoed in living rooms across America, and the show's futuristic gadgets and adventures sparked imaginations. Buck Rogers wasn't just a TV show, it was a movement, inspiring a new generation of sci-fi fans. For 2 thrilling seasons, Gil Gerard was at the center of it all. He became one of television's biggest stars, his face instantly recognizable to millions. He was featured on magazine covers, his autograph in high demand at conventions, and his popularity soared as ratings climbed. Gil's portrayal of Buck Rogers set a new standard for TV heroes, relatable, funny, and genuinely heroic. The media couldn't get enough of him. Gil appeared on talk shows, gave interviews, and became a fixture in entertainment news. He handled the attention with humility and gratitude, always remembering the journey that brought him to this point. It was a dream come true for a young man from Little Rock, Arkansas, who once boarded a bus to New York City with little more than ambition and hope. Gil's journey from small-town beginnings to the bright lights of Hollywood was a testament to perseverance and belief in oneself. Today, Gil Gerard is celebrated as a science fiction icon, forever remembered as the man who brought Buck Rogers to life for a new generation. His legacy endures, inspiring fans and future actors alike to chase their dreams, no matter how distant the stars may seem. Here's a twist. Gil almost turned down Buck Rogers. At first he thought it sounded campy and worried it would hurt his credibility. He wanted to be seen as a serious actor, not a comic strip hero. But his agent convinced him to meet with Glenn A. Larson. Larson described a big, exciting sci-fi adventure inspired by Star Wars, not a silly kids show. He promised Buck would be smart, witty, and heroic. Gil saw the potential and changed his mind. He took the role, trusting Larson's vision. That decision changed his life. Sometimes the best opportunities are the ones you almost pass up. Fame brought challenges. Gil became closely identified with Buck Rogers and struggled with typecasting. But he embraced his role as a sci-fi icon, meeting fans and sharing stories at conventions. He was proud of the joy and wonder the show brought to millions. Buck Rogers was pure, optimistic fun, a hero who never lost his humor or courage. Gil embodied that spirit, making us believe in heroes again. His journey, from chemist to cab driver to star, is a reminder to follow your passion. Gil Gerard wasn't just a TV hero, he was an inspiration. And like Buck Rogers, his legacy will shine for generations.